Welcome to this week's episode. I'm so excited you're here. This week's episode is all about plugging the holes in the boat of your business. If you feel like you have been trying this and trying that in the hopes that something will work so that you can pay your rent at the end of the month or somehow create some sort of sustainability in your business, if it feels like you've been throwing spaghetti at the wall and nothing seems to stick, then you are in the right place this week. Here's how the podcast works. 3 ways you can enjoy in its entirety. Just listen, enjoy, no matter when you're catching this, whether it's now or 10 years from now, you are here for a reason and there is something here for you. Or I do record this based on the numerological influences. I am a master numerologist, and so I use that to help me create the content. So you can watch it during the week of March 6th to 12th, 2023, and enjoy it in its entirety, or listen to each separate segment on each day based on those days, March 6th to March 12th, 2023. But again, if you're catching this at any time, you are here for a reason. There is something here for you. Enjoy, take what works, leave the rest, and I'll see you in the episode. Are you actually taking action in your business? Or are you stuck in the planning and the thinking and the uncertainty and the I don't know which action to take, and so you don't take any action? Are you waiting for someone to tell you what to do? Or are you putting faith in yourself, knowing that you are the only one who can do the thing? This is where I'm really curious, because I see this happen a lot in the coaching industry, where, especially with business coaches, you hire a business coach and then you want the step-by-step strategy, but then you get caught up in but I don't know if this is what I want. I don't know if this resonates with me. Or you go do things that don't resonate with you and then you stop doing them because they feel gross. And it's really important to remember that, the greatest plans will always change. And it's important to trust yourself as you move forward with a plan. So I'm not saying don't plan at all, because you do need a plan, but I'm also saying be flexible with the plan and trust yourself to pivot within the plan, and trust yourself enough to know when something's not a fit. I'm a business coach. I give a lot of strategy. I give a lot of tools and techniques to build your business. And at the same time, I always say, just because I told you to do it doesn't mean you should go do it, right? You've got to trust yourself. Now, what can also happen as you're building a business, there are a lot of moving pieces to a business. There are a lot of things to think about as the CEO of what you're building, right? You want to create impact. You want financial freedom. You want to be of service and create a better world for your clients. And then there's financing to think about, and there's social media marketing to think about, and there's networking to think about, and there's building websites, and there's this and that, and there's so many things, and oh my God, and now I can't do any of it because it's overwhelming. I recently moved, and we moved 2 apartments into one house. New background, if you've seen my podcast before. And in that, I realized I had boxes everywhere. Now, I'm the kind of person who likes to unpack everything over a weekend. And so I'm standing in my kitchen. The kitchen is stacked to the roof with boxes. My dining room is stacked with boxes. The living room is stacked with furniture and boxes. And I stood there for a second and I looked at everything and I was like hyperventilating. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. They had literally just conglomerated everything from 2 apartments into my kitchen and living room. And as I'm standing there and the movers are putting more and more and more boxes in, I just took a deep breath and I realized that I had a plan. I'd just forgotten the plan. I had a plan, and that plan was to empty 1 box at a time. And so that's what I did. And slowly but surely, 1 box at a time, the house got unpacked, and the living room and the kitchen and the dining room emptied of boxes, and the chaos began to subside. 1 box at a time. It's the same thing with your business. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a deep breath and realize I only have to do this 1 thing at a time. Not trying to do all of them at the same time. Trust me, that doesn't work. I used to think I was really good at multitasking. Nobody's good at multitasking. That's just distraction and being pulled in multiple different directions. When we focus and we stay grounded and we breathe and we take the next step and the next step and the next step, trusting ourselves to know that this is the next box to open. And then this is the next box to open. Letting the plan lead us in a direction, but also knowing we get to change the plan. It's not about being so structured that you've reverse engineered your entire dream business and you're just going to get that to-do list done. Please don't do that. You do not leave room for opportunity and possibility to show up when you're simply reverse engineering something. We must leave room for inspiration, for the possibilities, for the universe to play along with us, and have a plan in place. So I invite you, if you don't have a plan, to get a plan in place. If you do have a plan, to start taking action one box at a time. Where do you feel the most frustration in building your business? I speak to a lot of coaches who are trying to build a business, trying to break free from that 9-to-5, attempting to get themselves out of a side gig or hobby business into the real deal. And in the real deal, there's some things that we have to be aware of. So I've been in the online business space for 7 years. I've tried a lot of things. I've tried a lot of strategies. I've tried a lot of non-strategies. I've been there. I've bought the t-shirt. And what I have learned is that throwing spaghetti at the wall in the hopes that something will stick is not a solid plan. So if you find in your business that you are attempting things and trying things and there's no real solid formation to what you're doing, you don't know who it is that your client is, you don't really know what you're offering, you've got a whole schwack of modalities, but you don't know how to pull it all together, and it feels like you're constantly just plugging holes in the boat that's sinking, then you're in the right place. Because when we've got a solid plan in place, a flexible plan, let me be clear, this is not a written in stone, this is the box you must play in. But when we've got some sort of plan of where we want to go, then it gives our inspiration a sandbox to play in, rather than running wild and untamed like a puppy who's just had too much sugar. I don't know if we feed our puppies sugar. That's just what came out. I heard myself. But when we think about this as business owners, as entrepreneurs, if we, and many of my clients are spiritual with multimodalities, who are tappers, who are Reiki masters, who are advanced manifestors. There's lots of different modalities. But if you don't have a way to bring that together and understand the brand of you, and the truth of you, it's going to be really hard to break through in the online space, in the business space, wherever you might find yourself. I don't just speak to social media and getting yourself out in the online space. There's a lot more to a business, but it's not about just throwing up a numerology reading here and there and everywhere, and you're somehow going to create a sustainable business that will help you pay your bills and create impact over and over and over again. That is literally throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something will stick, praying by the end of the month that you'll have enough clients come in and buy readings that you can pay your rent. To me, that's not the way to run a business. I've tried it. It didn't work very well. I ended up broke. I ended up frustrated. I ended up desperate. And desperation is no way to run a business. Your clients can feel it and they will run away from you. So we need to be aware of where we might be anxious, stressed out, worried, and trying to plug holes in the boat that's going down, versus really getting solid in what it is that we're creating, not just for the immediate, but for the long term. Looking at the big picture and asking ourselves, does this thing that I'm doing right now match up to the big vision? Or am I just plugging a hole in the boat? We're throwing spaghetti at the wall. I know I'm mixing my metaphors today. We're going to own it. It's all good. You know what I mean. Are you plugging a sinking boat, or are you setting yourself up for the sustainable long haul? This entrepreneurial game is a marathon. It is not a sprint. If you're just plugging holes, you're going to plug holes for forever. And you will not have that sustainability that you desire. And you won't create the impact that you desire. So it's time to get really solid. You know, you are a creator. You love to create. You love to create programs, and you love to write content, and you love to do these other things, and you love to work with your clients. But now it's time to pull it all together into something succinct, something that will stand the test of time, something that potentially, if you desire, is a legacy that you leave behind. But above all else, it's something that provides you the ability to leave the 9-to-5 behind, change that business from a side gig to an actual business, make it simple, make it easy, make it foundational, the sandbox for your creativity and your inspiration to play in, knowing that what you're doing right now is for the long term, for the long haul, for the big picture. Are you really in co-creation with your higher self, or is your ego running the show when it comes to your business? You know, I used to let my ego run the show all the time. So if you're in that place, it's okay. It's okay. Awareness is everything. But you can tell the difference. If your ego is running the show, then you are trying to solve a problem. You are thinking about the end result. You're likely attached to the end result. You're looking for an outcome, and you're trying to control and manipulate. You're probably tired. You're probably burnt out. You're probably wondering, oh my God, my to-do list is so long. How will I ever get this all done? But if you're in co-creation, you are playful. You are caught up in love and bliss and joy. You're having a great time. You're dancing around your office. Everything feels good when you're in co-creation. What do I mean by co-creation? I mean, it is a two-way street conversation with your higher self. Every time you sit down in front of your computer or your journal to do something within your business, to work on or in your business, you are inviting your higher self to come play with you. You know the difference. You know the difference. You can feel it in your body. When you are indecisive about making a move, ego. When you know exactly what to do because you can feel it in every cell of your body, co-creation. That's the difference. And it's really that simple. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know what to do next, I feel a little confused, I don't have any clarity, I'm not sure what's next, maybe I should check my email for the 4th time today, maybe I should go on Facebook, maybe I'll get some inspiration from Facebook and distract myself, or maybe I need a snack, maybe if I just go for a walk, then I'll get some inspiration, but then I'm going to stay outside for a walk for 4 hours because all I'm doing is avoiding and procrastinating. That's ego. Inspiration is your responsibility, and it comes from connection to your higher self. And it takes less than 30 seconds to connect. All you have to do is say, I invite you here. Close your eyes, breathe, and invite. Being open and curious. And then not just waiting for your guides, higher self, source, God, to tell you what to do. That's not how it works either. But rather sitting and asking questions and listening and asking clarity questions and listening and taking action. That's co-creation. Co-creation comes from when you are sitting and you are feeling and you are choosing a frequency. Choose the frequency of inspiration. Choose the frequency of impact, of wealth, of connection, of whatever you want to experience. Choose it. Feel it. Amplify it. And choose to work with that frequency. We don't amplify a frequency of wealth and then go and sit and watch Netflix. That's not how it works. We must be an active participant in the co-creation of our dreams. So are you participating? Are you having those conversations regularly? Not just for your morning routine where you do your prayers and read your cards and then forget about it for the rest of the day. I'm talking all day, every day. Keeping your connection to your higher self with you all day, every day. Having the conversation all day, every day. Recently, I made a pretty major decision in my business, kind of flipped my whole world upside down. This is what I do. One of the things my clients get to know about me is that I love to change things and I change quickly. And I've made this decision. Now, in making the decision, I could feel my ego coming in, right? Because our ego is designed to keep us safe. And I heard my ego saying things like, oh, I don't know if you can afford that. Are you sure you want to do that? Really, Cindy, you're going to blow up 7 years of what you've been doing? Are you sure this is what you want to do? The questioning, the ego coming in and saying, but this is what you've been doing. You're safe here. Stay here. This is where you're safe. This is where you're comfortable. This is where you're familiar. And my higher self goes, but you didn't come here to be comfortable. You didn't come here to be familiar. And my higher self is my greatest cheerleader saying, come this way. Let's go do this. Wouldn't it be fun? And I can get on board with that. And I can get my body on board with that and go that way. Because I choose a life that is extraordinary. I choose impact. I choose to never have to go back to the 9 to 5 ever, ever, ever again. I love working from home. I love the things that I do. I love connecting with my clients and seeing the transformation. And so I choose to follow the guidance of my higher self, trusting in the actions I'm taking, knowing, embodying, moving forward, instead of staying comfortable, because I'm having that conversation and I'm feeling the frequency of what's really going on. So check in with yourself. Are you being guided by your ego in your business? Or are you in co-creation with the divine, God, universe, your higher self, your guides, whatever label you want to give that? Check in regularly. Do you know your own truth? And are you being guided by it? Or are you looking to others to be your greatest cheerleaders, to tell you what to do, to give you the right strategy in your business, to set you up with the exact structure of how to be successful in a business? Or are you trusting in you? This one's a big one. I used to look to coaches, to strategists, to everybody else to tell me what to do, to give me the pathway. I used to look to everyone to give me the step-by-step way to be successful because I wanted to be successful no matter what. I was desperate for success. But I had never actually defined success for myself. I didn't know what that looked like. And so I was chasing other people's dreams. I was chasing other people's agendas. I was chasing a desire for my life that wasn't actually true for me. You know, if you go back and watch any of my content from like 4 or 5 years ago, I was all about the big houses, the Ferraris, the traveling around the world, all of these pieces. Now, some of those are still there. Believe me, I love a red Ferrari, but I don't actually want to own a Ferrari. I just want to drive one. I don't actually want to own massive mansions because, God, I don't want to clean them. I do want to travel all over the world. But there were other pieces of the dream that I've started to recognize weren't mine. You know, we as humans, we are all connected. We are all one. And we have this tendency to pick up on other people's patterns and to think, oh, but if I just join myself at the hip at that person or this concept or this strategy or that business coach, then I'll be good. Then I'll have everything I need. And it is not true. Everything you need is within you. Right here, right now. Now, that may not look true to you on the outside. It may look like an illusion. And when you look out to the outside world, you're like, yeah, but everything I need, I don't have the money I need in my bank account. I don't have the house I need. I don't have the relationship I need. I don't have the business that's sustainable. And I still have this stupid job that I hate. But on the inside, you have everything you need and want and desire right here, right now. And that is the only truth that's actually true. Our world is an illusion. This 3D experience that we live in is absolutely an illusion. When you talk to other humans, you are looking at an illusion. The words they say, the way you perceive those words, the way you hear them, the way you feel them, unless you are working specifically with frequency, everything's an illusion. And the only way you can ever know what's true is to know what's true for you. So, how does this affect your business? Well, when you hire a business coach, which I highly recommend hiring a business coach, there may be things to learn in building a business. But every time you hire a business coach or you work with somebody, you always listen to you first. You don't just blindly follow and do everything they say and then wake up one day going, what the shit have I been doing? Instead, check in with yourself. Every time you learn a new skill, ask yourself, is this a skill that I choose to implement? Does it feel good to me? And recognizing the difference between resistance and actually being in alignment with something. Because if it's resistance, then it may be the little 5-year-old ego trying to keep you safe, and that's okay. We can deal with that. We know how to work with that. But not wanting to do something because it's totally out of alignment with who you are, you need to know that. You need to know what's true for you. This is our opportunity to build sustainable businesses for the long haul that are creating impact, creating financial freedom, creating everything you've ever desired, your extraordinary life for you, and whatever you desire by doing it your way, not my way. I just have some cool things that I do that I can share with you. And I can mirror to you what's possible. And I'll tell you some things to do and try and experiment with. Try it out. Decide if it works for you. Keep it or leave it. It's that simple. You need to be the one for you. You need to trust yourself. You need to be the one making the call. You need to be the one making the decisions. No one else can do that for you. No one. We often look to, trying to get on podcasts or talk shows, and we think, oh, if I could just get on that show, then everybody would see me and I will be successful. If I could just get on that show, then I'll have all these new followers on social media and then I'll be successful. No, that's not how it works. You choose to be your version of successful now, whatever that truth is for you. Not from the place of your ego, I mean your truth, the truth that lives in your heart and in your soul, your truth. Make decisions from there, because you're the only one who knows what's true for you. Are you just waiting for the right person to come along to tell you you've got it all figured out? Now go. I used to think that, if somebody just told me, you've got all the things, go do it. You've got your plan in place, go do it. I used to think I needed someone else's permission to go do something. I was waiting for the right podcast, the right person, the right coach, the right strategy to tell me that I was good enough to move forward. I would create plan after plan after plan and sit there and do nothing with it. I would be passive in my understanding of my own value, and then I would get frustrated that no one was helping me to do it. And then I wouldn't take action, and then I'd get stuck, and then I would beat myself up, and then my value and my own worth would drop a little further until I found myself in this constant spin of trying to control the material world to the point where I had adrenal fatigue and was literally killing myself. This is not the way to build a sustainable business, my friends. It is not. We must recognize that we are our greatest cheerleaders. We are the only people who can tell ourselves that we are valuable, that we are worthy, and that we know enough to move forward. This is about looking at yourself in the mirror, straight in the eyes, and having a little bit of a come to Jesus moment and saying, I love you. You are valuable, and you've got this. What you have to share with the world is worthy of being expressed, and you get to have an extraordinary life, and you get to build an extraordinary business, a sustainable business. You get to have the experiences you desire, the financial freedom, the ease. You get to have the 2-minute commute from your coffee maker to your office. You get to have that. And I'm telling you this, but I am asking you, I am inviting you to go tell it to yourself, because I can't make that call for you. Only you can. And you do that by being your own greatest cheerleader, your own greatest mirror of value. And stop looking for it from someone else. Are you waiting for clients to show up so that you can make some money? Are you waiting for clients to show up so that you can have a financial exchange? Are you waiting for clients to show up so that you can get some testimonials? You got to start somewhere, and you are ready to start now. Pull the pieces together that you know now. Create a flexible plan, be your greatest cheerleader, and take a step forward. I can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. You cannot attach yourself at the hip to some coach, myself or any other coach out there, and think that you are going to be successful on your terms. It simply won't happen. You've got to do it your way. You've got to be sovereign in your power, in your value, in your wealth, in your understanding of who you are, in your own truth, and trust that and take action from there. That's how you build sustainability. That's how you let go of the attempt to control everything in the material world. And that's how you move forward, one step at a time. What do you want? What do you want to experience in your business? What do you want to experience in your life? I think this is probably one of the hardest questions to answer, because we've been so programmed that we should want this and that. As a child, as I was growing up, I grew up on a farm, and I was told I should want to get a good education. I should want to get a good job after said education. I should want to stay at said job for 40 years and get the gold watch at the end. I should want a happy family and be married. I should want kids. Now, if you've not met me before, here's a little thing. I haven't done any of that. I have always been the rebel and pushed against all of the shoulds. I don't like playing by the shoulds. And it's really important when you're building an online business to be aware of all the shoulds that are out there. Because you're told that you should have an Instagram and a Facebook and a TikTok and a YouTube and a website, and you should have an email list and all of these things that you should have, and that you should have the mansions and the cars and the this and the that, and that you should have a 6 or 7 figure income, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could keep going on the list of shoulds. You should have a Facebook group. You should have this. You should have all this fancy software that you don't even know how to log into or use, but you should have it. Are we feeling this? Here's the thing. You only need to want what you fucking want. Period. You don't need to want what other people want. You don't need to go after all the things that other people are telling you you should want. You need only know what you want. And get very, very clear on that. Once you know that, and you have accepted that is possible for you, that you can feel it in your bones, that extraordinary version of what you want is possible for you, and you can feel it right here, right now, and every time you close your eyes, it's like you can just picture it or imagine it. Maybe you can't see it. Not everybody can visualize. I certainly don't see pictures of things, but I feel it. When I close my eyes, I can feel what it is that I desire. And from there, once you've felt it, and you can feel it every moment, then you decide you can have it. Decide that you can have it. Make the decision. Nobody can make that decision for you. You're the only one. So you make that decision and then take action. Do something about it. Don't just decide and then sit back on the couch hoping that the lottery will someday win. Even if you want to win the lottery, you still got to buy a damn lottery ticket, right? Take action. Not just all the actions. Don't take all the actions. Just take an action, an inspired action. This is what I want. This is why I want it. I choose to experience it. Now, what's the next step? And you take that next step without attachment to outcome. Because if you're attached to the outcome, you are using your ego and you are not connected to your higher self. So you let go of the attachment and you stay open and curious, knowing that the pathway to what you want is not a straight line. If you've ever seen that meme about being an entrepreneur, it is an up and down and all around kind of journey. It is not a straight line. So you must stay curious and willing to pivot within the actions. But if you don't know what you want first, you're never going to get there. So I invite you, explore that. What is it that you truly want from the truth of who you are? What do you want to experience in your business?